In a gripping contest, Stephen Curry and Buddy Hield delivered an electrifying second-half performance to propel the Golden State Warriors to a 114-106 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves at home. The game, characterized by dramatic shifts in momentum, saw the Warriors overturn a deficit and secure an impressive win at the Chase Center. Curry and Hield dominated the decisive moments, orchestrating a comeback that electrified fans in San Francisco. Sunday's action-packed schedule, December 8th, featured a total of 12 games across the league, including this standout matchup. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. The victory was a crucial one for the Warriors, who rebounded after a tough loss to the Timberwolves just 2 days prior, December 6th. With strategic lineup adjustments, head coach Steve Kerr found a way to counter Minnesota's formidable defense, which had stymied Golden State in the first half but waned as the game wore on. The win improved the Warriors' record to 14-9, moving them into 5th place in the Western Conference standings and marking their second victory in their last 3 games. Looking ahead, the Warriors face a pivotal game on Wednesday, December 11th, as they travel to face the Houston Rockets in the quarterfinals of the NBA in-season tournament. For the Timberwolves, the loss was a missed opportunity to sweep back-to-back games against the Warriors in San Francisco. Their 4-game winning streak, the longest of their 2024-25 campaign, came to an end. The Timberwolves now hold a 12-11 record and sit 9th in the Western Conference standings. No longer in contention for the in-season tournament, Minnesota will return to action on Friday, December 13th, taking on the Los Angeles Lakers in California. The game began with the Timberwolves asserting control. The Warriors, struggling with offensive consistency, a recurring theme this season, found themselves trailing for much of the first half. Apart from Stephen Curry's steady contributions, Golden State lacked scoring threats early on, and their deficit hovered between 8 and 10 points during the initial 24 minutes. In the third quarter, the tide turned. Steve Kerr implemented a smaller lineup featuring Draymond Green at center, a tactical shift that began to yield results as the Warriors ramped up their tempo. Golden State's newfound pace put pressure on Minnesota's transition defense, particularly targeting key players like Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, who struggled to adjust. This strategy paid dividends as Golden State outscored Minnesota in the third quarter, erasing the deficit and taking the lead. Jonathan Kuminga was instrumental during the stretch, scoring 11 of his 20 points and providing a much-needed spark on both ends of the court. Rebounding was another critical factor in the Warriors' comeback. Kevin Looney's effort on the board stood out, as he grabbed 5 offensive rebounds, contributing to Golden State's 14-7 advantage in second-chance opportunities. These extra possessions were vital, especially in the first half, keeping the Warriors within striking distance despite their shooting struggles. As the game entered its final moments, Buddy Hield and Stephen Curry rose to the occasion. Hield, who finished with 27 points, scored 19 in the second half, including a series of clutch three-pointers that swung momentum in Golden State's favor. Curry, as consistent as ever, orchestrated the offense with his scoring and playmaking, creating opportunities for his teammates through his gravitational pull on the defense. Defensively, Gary Payton too played a pivotal role in containing Anthony Edwards down the stretch. His tenacious defense disrupted Minnesota's offensive flow, effectively sealing the victory for Golden State. Draymond Green capped off the performance with an emphatic dunk, putting an exclamation point on the win. Minnesota entered the game riding high on a 4-game winning streak fueled by their suffocating defense. This intensity was on full display in the first half, where they controlled the tempo and limited Golden State's scoring opportunities. The Timberwolves held the Warriors to just 21 points in the opening quarter, setting the tone for what seemed to be another strong defensive outing. However, cracks began to show in the second quarter. Despite their dominance, Minnesota allowed Golden State to remain in the game through offensive rebounds. The Warriors converted over 30% of their missed shots into second-chance points, a stat that highlighted the Timberwolves' struggles on the defensive boards. The third quarter proved to be a turning point. Minnesota's defense faltered against Golden State's quickened pace, and their transition defense became a glaring weakness. What was once a 12-point lead evaporated rapidly as the Warriors found easy scoring opportunities. Although Anthony Edwards delivered a heroic effort with 15 points in the quarter, his contributions alone couldn't keep Minnesota ahead, and they entered the fourth quarter trailing. In the final minutes, the Timberwolves briefly regained their defensive intensity. Rudy Gobert finally made his presence felt with rim protection, while Nickeil Alexander-Walker contributed with energy on both ends of the court. However, costly turnovers and rushed defensive possessions gave Golden State the openings they needed to close out the game. Minnesota's inconsistency proved costly. After an impressive defensive start, their inability to sustain effort and control the boards allowed Golden State to seize the momentum and ultimately the victory. For the Warriors, this win represents a critical step forward as they continue to solidify their position in the Western Conference standings. With Stephen Curry leading the charge and key role players like Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga stepping up, Golden State looks poised to make noise in the in-season tournament. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves will need to regroup after this setback. Their strong start to the game highlighted their potential, but lapses in focus and execution revealed areas that need improvement. With a tough matchup against the Lakers looming, Minnesota will look to bounce back and recapture their winning form. The game was a showcase of resilience and strategy, with the Warriors' adjustments and star power ultimately prevailing over the Timberwolves' strong start. Fans were treated to a thrilling display of basketball, setting the stage for an exciting stretch of the season. The Golden State Warriors appear ready to take bold steps to bolster their roster and maximize the impact of Steph Curry's remaining prime years. With the team's championship window still open but increasingly under pressure, the Warriors are exploring options to provide Curry with the offensive support he needs to maintain their contender status in a fiercely competitive Western Conference. Among the options on the table, Zach Lavine of the Chicago Bulls has emerged as a potential trade target. Lavine, a two-time All-Star currently playing some of the best basketball of his career, could provide Golden State with an injection of scoring, playmaking, and athleticism, filling a gap that has become evident in their lineup. Golden State didn't have Draymond Green, who addresses a lot of their secondary ball handling needs by creating shots for others, noted Bill Simmons on the Bill Simmons podcast. Without him, Curry is essentially their only shot creator. Watching them, it felt like they're a team that could benefit from a 3-for-1 trade. They have several solid players, but none who can consistently create their own shot. Simmons also pointed out the urgency of the situation, saying, "I wouldn't rule out a move for Zach Lavine. He's the type of player they need." With Curry at 36, they can't afford to waste this championship window any longer. While the Bulls have shown flashes of competitiveness, including a recent 2-game win streak, their overall performance this season suggests they are not legitimate playoff contenders. For Lavine, who is averaging over 20 points per game with remarkable efficiency, a trade to a team like the Warriors could offer a chance to compete at the highest level and potentially win an NBA title. Golden State's current challenges are clear. Without Draymond Green, the team struggles with shot creation and offensive flow. Although Curry remains one of the most dynamic and reliable scorers in the league, relying solely on him to carry the offensive load night after night is not sustainable, especially as he continues to play heavy minutes at age 36. Lavine, with his diverse scoring toolkit, could be the perfect antidote to these issues. Known for his ability to create his own shot, Lavine is an elite 3-level scorer. His improved 3-point shooting, consistent pull-up jumper, and exceptional finishing at the rim would provide the Warriors with a secondary offensive weapon, reducing the pressure on Curry. By adding a player of Lavine's caliber, the Warriors could diversify their offensive attack, making them even more dangerous in high-stakes playoff scenarios. Moreover, Lavine's athleticism and ability to excel in transition align well with Golden State's fast-paced style of play. His capacity to thrive off the ball could also complement Curry's game, as Lavine can capitalize on the defensive attention Curry commands, finding open looks and attacking gaps created by Curry's gravity. The timing for such a move seems critical. While the Warriors remain competitive, their recent performances have highlighted areas of concern. The team has shown moments of brilliance but has also struggled with consistency, particularly against top-tier opponents. A move for Lavine would not only address their immediate needs but also send a message to the rest of the league that Golden State is all in on contending for another championship. In addition to Lavine, other high-profile names like Brandon Ingram, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jimmy Butler have been mentioned in trade rumors involving the Warriors. While each of these players brings unique strengths, Lavine might represent the most realistic and impactful option for Golden State. His availability and skill set align perfectly with the Warriors' needs, and acquiring him would likely involve less complicated trade negotiations compared to players like Giannis or Butler, who are deeply entrenched in their respective franchises' plans. A potential trade for Lavine would likely involve the Warriors parting with a combination of young talent and draft capital. Players like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, or even Andrew Wiggins could be part of the discussion, along with future draft picks. While such a move would require significant assets, the payoff could be monumental. Adding Lavine to a core that includes Curry, Green, and Klay Thompson could reignite the Warriors' championship aspirations and restore them to the level of dominance they've enjoyed in the past decade. From Lavine's perspective, a move to Golden State could be equally beneficial. At 28 years old, he is in the prime of his career and has yet to experience deep playoff success. Joining the Warriors would provide him with an opportunity to compete for an NBA title alongside one of the greatest players of all time. Furthermore, Lavine's skill set seems tailor-made for the Warriors system, which emphasizes ball movement, spacing, and high basketball IQ. While the Bulls have enjoyed Lavine's contributions since acquiring him in 2017, their current trajectory suggests it may be time to pivot toward a rebuild. Trading Lavine could provide Chicago with valuable assets to build around younger players and retool for the future. For a franchise that has struggled to find consistent success in recent years, a trade could represent a win-win situation for both Lavine and the organization. Ultimately, the Warriors' pursuit of Lavine would signal their commitment to making the most of Curry's remaining prime years. With the Western Conference as competitive as ever, Golden State cannot afford to rest on its laurels. Adding a player like Lavine could be the difference between another deep playoff run and an early postseason exit. As trade rumors continue to swirl, one thing is clear: the Warriors are exploring every avenue to ensure they remain at the forefront of NBA contention. Whether Lavine becomes the newest addition to their star-studded roster or the team pursues another high-profile target, the coming months promise to be pivotal in shaping the future of this Golden State dynasty.